Hello, YouTube. I want to tell you about my experience with DoorDash. I worked for them for the better part of 6 months. I delivered more than 1,200 orders with them. In that time, I saw my pay fluctuate wildly. It started out good in the beginning, and then after a brief introductory period, I saw my wages slashed. I was working 10 to 12 hours a day, and I was putting hundreds of miles on my car every day, delivering long orders, having to sit and wait for the orders for long periods of time without getting paid per minute or per mile. DoorDash fluctuated the wage rate. It would shift wildly. I'd be flexed down to as low as $6 an hour, making less than the legal minimum wage. And then occasionally my wages would peak upwards of $30 an hour. DoorDash reminds me a lot of this company called Gritty. Gritty would pay extremely low rates for the customers. They would charge a very low, almost free rate. And then when the electricity demand was high, they would charge you an exorbitant rate that would be just horrific. It'd be so bad that you would want to turn all the power off in your house immediately. I remember when we had a freeze years ago in Texas, and you had people who, for just 3 days of electricity, were being charged $30,000. When DoorDash overcharges customers, the drivers don't see that money. DoorDash is greedy, and they have an exploitative business model. You won't get enough compensation to cover maintenance on your car, or repairs, or vehicle replacement costs. And I can't tell you how many times that I was out there on the route where I would hear gunshots or have dogs almost attack me, run right up to me, and act like they're going to bite me. Or have somebody come very close to hitting me after running a red light. I saw serious accidents while I was out there, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's not worth your life. When you account for expenses and the massive cost for fuel, when you're having to fill up on a tank of gas, 12 gallons for $35 or $40, it's ridiculous. It's an unsustainable business model. I was having to buy a new set of tires every 3 months because I was driving so much for the company. And at that time, I wasn't making huge profits. I made something like $8,000 in 6 months working full time for them. I'm telling you right now, you're going to burn out on driving if you work for them. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to get sick. You'll be so tired from driving that you want to go to sleep in your car without even going in the house, working 50 to 60 hours a week. The company doesn't care about you or what happens to you while you're out there driving. If you get hurt and you end up with disability or something like that, they will discard you immediately. If they put an order on you and you don't take it, they'll demand that you take it. And if you refuse that order, they'll deactivate your account. There comes a day or a night when your acceptance rate gets low and you're like, man, I really don't want to take that order. That's a bad order there. And you know you're going to go into a store and you're going to be building that order for 30 minutes or an hour, and you're going to be making much less than minimum wage. And then you're going to have to go do a long delivery to run that order out to the customer. What DoorDash and companies like it are doing is exploitation. And the federal government needs to step in and they need to regulate the hell out of that company. I don't work for them anymore. I got tired of it. I told them, look, I need a steady pay rate per hour. I have a family to support. I have expenses to pay. And you guys want to use people as contractors during your peak periods when you have the most deliveries, and you flex people's wages down during the slower periods to the point that they're making almost nothing, and they're sitting there waiting for hours for orders, and the pay that they give you for delivering those orders is nothing. It's so small that you can't even classify it as compensation. It's not an exaggeration to say that I could stand out there on a street corner holding a sign saying, please, anything helps, and feed me, and get more in charitable donations from strangers driving by throwing money out their window than I made working for DoorDash. My advice to you, if you're considering working for DoorDash, is don't do it. They're going to break your car from the sheer wear and tear they're going to put on you through mileage, or a serious car accident that you get into, or you're going to get hurt. You'll end up with citations from the police trying to deliver those orders. Things will happen out there that you can't expect, that you don't expect to happen. I got tickets while I was working for them once or twice, and you'll get rear-ended. A lot of the time, the accidents you have, somebody runs into the back of you. I had 2 separate instances where somebody ran into the back of the car, and I let it go. Especially in the bad parts of town, when you get out towards places where it's really ghetto, you've got a lot of poor people running around, there's people sleeping on the ground everywhere. Don't deliver for DoorDash in those zones. I did that. I almost got held up one day delivering for them. A couple of guys trying to break into a property, break into an apartment fence through the outside gate. They thought we were watching them. They tried to block the road and hold us up. I'm like, hell no. And I drove the opposite direction down the road. But it's ridiculous. They really genuinely don't care what happens to you. They put you in harm's way out there, sending you these areas. Then when something bad happens, they're just like, oh, sucks for you. No insurance, no workman's comp, no benefits. Working for DoorDash it's no good. Don't do it.